All right, these are Brock Huard
is?
training camp observations.
See what that is?
I do.
That's a calendar. Look at that calendar.
It's beautiful.
How has it already been 3 weeks of training camp? It feels like it's been 3 days of training camp. It's been 3 weeks of training camp. Yesterday was the final one in front of the public. Today, all the family and friends and of the players and coaches. Kind of a cool day. Always loved this day, being out there and watching all of it after practice, kind of celebrating the end of that stretch. Nothing really changes, frankly, for the team, quite honestly, over the next couple weeks of preparation. But since officially training camp is in the books, I'm going to give you 5 takeaways of the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
You ready? Number 1, teaching, not preaching. Just heard like zero moments from Mike Macdonald, from anybody that's following the team, like Brady and Bob and Greg and Hawkblogger. None of them have intimated at all that Mike Macdonald's not happy with his guys. We're not heard failed conditioning tests,
right,
not
like
heard late to meetings, not heard I could cut you, I would cut you right now. None of that stuff. None of it. It has been a whole lot more about the teaching element. And right alongside that, and Maura made this point, I believe, the first training camp practice you guys were at, and Maura made the point out at OTAs. Like, you can actually hear them teach because the music is not so loud and so blaring that you give coaches an opportunity to teach. And I like music.
Do you think, just jumping in there on that, do you think that's why Pete had some trouble getting good coaches under him the last few years? Because coaches come and be like, I just want to coach, but nobody can freaking hear me. It's like going out to your friends to a loud bar, and you're like, we all just want to talk to each other, but we can't. Right. We're screaming over the music. I wonder if that, I never thought about that before, but I wonder if there is something to that.
You have ample time, especially in the NFL, to still teach off the field, right? You have so much meeting time, and that is where a lot of the teaching goes, but I like the teachings also done on the football field, right? That those guys can communicate, that they can hear one another. Not every environment of every game is at the decibel level that Pete's practices are typically at. And I think Mike just throttled some of that noise down. It's still there. It's still ever present. But just overall, too, this is just a teaching group. Some do it differently. Benton's a little louder on that offensive line, right, than some of the other guys. And everyone's got their own technique and style to it. But I definitely, over 3 weeks, felt a whole bunch of teaching rather than just having to preach what the culture of this crew is about.
All right.
Takeaways.
I got some.
This has been the back and forth throughout training camp, and this is my takeaway number 2. Offense won some days, defense won some days. Offense won some days, defense won some days. If you want to honestly be a team that plays some complementary football, then your 3 weeks of training camp should probably have some days defined by more offensive execution and production, and some more days defined by defensive effort and execution and production than just one side just wailing on the other side. Mm-hmm. And maybe it was that way a little bit early. Maybe it was that way a little bit in OTAs.
It's funny, it was that way every one I went to. Every time I went to practice, the defense
maybe
just dominated.
Maybe that has something to do with the Josh Nails that they're watching practice too. Maybe that just has something to do with your optics, Sulky.
No.
You don't appreciate the finer tuned things.
No, when I was there, defense dominated. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't go to every practice. The ones I went to,
I was with you
dominated.
that one day. I was with you the one day, third downs. It was very much a back and forth. Offense going to win some, defense going to win some. And I think the emergence of Torrey Horton as well has helped that offense be a little bit more effective in spots. Just some of the threat and some of the speed that he brings. So, by and large, just from the eyewitness accounts of every day of practice, there has been some back and forth. I think that's pretty healthy.
Takeaways.
I hate to do this one because we know on any given day in football this could change, and this could change dramatically. But over 3 weeks of camp, you've been able to avoid the traumatic football injuries that have unfortunately fallen on a bunch of teams in the NFL. And, some star players that have already been lost for significant chunks of the season and the rest of the preseason. You not only will not see Patrick Mahomes, that's not because of injury, it's choice. You're also not going to see Jordan Love next week. He had surgery on his non-throwing thumb yesterday, so in joint practices there and the build-up in the game, not even going to get to compete against him either. Yeah, and I think some of that, honestly, injury, again, a lot of it is it's football. There's some things totally out of your control, but there are some things within your control. And, not taking blindside shots, understanding how to stay up in practice, understanding how to callous and be tough without, getting on the ground and risking guys getting rolled up on. I think those are important elements. And at the line of scrimmage, that's where I think a big key of this is. You've been able to get the work in while still protecting one another. That is a positive of training camp.
Takeaways.
Runway. You heard, I think you said this to Passon yesterday when Passon was talking about the team build for the Seattle Mariners, the process, getting young guys like Cole Young the time, giving people in your bullpen the time, giving Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock, giving your, just draft, develop. And to develop, you have to have enough runway. Mm-hmm. There has to be a pathway to it. And we've talked a lot about it with the Mariners. I think there appears to have been enough competitive runway for the Seahawks here as well with Sundell, with Anthony Bradford, with Charbonnet, with Torrey Horton. They're not all blocked.
Right.
And it's easier to do. And let's be very clear. It's a lot easier to do in the NFL, where like 80% of the jobs turn over about every year, or 80% of the guys are on minimum deals and have very little guarantees and got to lay it all on the line. But there has been some significant opportunity given to those four names I just mentioned there, and they have made the most of it.
Pretty cool. All right, some good takeaways.
Right.
Was that it? That was it. Oh, you have one more. I'm sorry. I thought that was fine. One more.
Takeaways.
Yeah, the last one is just seeing Sam Darnold and just kind of seeing his evolution. And, we'll do more of this on Friday, a little shorter show tomorrow with a very early Mariners game. So we'll do a little more of this kind of on what to look for in this preseason game as we figure out more and more who's going to play. And I would think even if Mahomes doesn't play, Sam Darnold is going to play because we need to see him. And when it comes to Sam, you need to see his feet. What you saw, Salk, that very first practice was an erratic, somewhat frenetic Sam Darnold. If I were to take your eyes and put him to my footballese, I think, his feet were a bit frantic. Mm-hmm. And when he struggles, that's where it is. You'll see it in his feet. It's not hard. It's not like George Kirby where you're trying to figure out why they can't hit him. With Sam Darnold, when the ball gets airmailed, you'll see it mechanically. You'll see it in the calmness of his body and his feet and everything else. And I think over these 3 weeks, there has been just a nice buildup. And hopefully Friday night, we'll see the same. We'll see that ball out on time, on rhythm, on point. I think he's felt more and more comfortable, and he will certainly be all eyes on Sam Darnold come Friday night.
All right. There you go. Those are good takeaways from the training camp that's now over. Pretty crazy. You got a game on Friday night. Unfortunately, it looks like Patrick Mahomes not going to play in it, which is a bummer.